Hey guys, Tony here with BlessedBrother.com, and we're continuing our series about how to ensure that all your goals get achieved. You know, we're getting rid of that frustration and we're moving forward. Well, I said some things with you on last time on part 1. If you haven't seen it yet, go to BlessedBrother.com, sign in. You will get access to the previous trainings as well as some other trainings that I have there that are all geared towards helping you become successful regardless of what you're doing, regardless of what kind of business you're building. Those trainings will be made available to you because you have signed in at BlessedBrother.com. But today I want to talk to you about something that is not really talked about as much as it should really be when it comes to setting goals, having those goals reached, and not having the frustration. You know, everyone has what we call a circle of concern. You know, I have on my phone, I set up CNN and USA Today alerts, and I get stuff from them whenever something happens. And, you know, and by and large, it's stuff I might be concerned about, but that's it. It's stuff I'm concerned about. It's everything that's in the world, everything that matters to you. Those are the things that end up in your circle of concern. And most people understand this to some level on a natural basis, but when you think about your circle of concern, here's where the frustration sits in, and here's where the distinction needs to be made. Inside your circle of concern, it's what's called your circle of influence. Your circle of influence. And what that means basically is that there are fewer things that you are concerned about that you can actually do something about. You know, so often when we set goals and so forth, we're setting those goals inside our circle of concern, but they're things that are outside of our circle of influence. And we don't have those things happen, man, that's where frustration sits in. So part of being effective in your goal setting and having goals that you will achieve was being centered in your circle of influence. You know, one big thing you always hear from people who talk success is don't go to sleep, you know, watching television news. You know, don't watch CNN. Some people say it stands for constant negative news. And the reason for that is because by and large, most of the stuff on there is stuff that might be in your circle, might or might not be in your circle of concern. It may be something you hadn't even thought about, and suddenly you get something else in your circle of concern. But it's by and large not something you can do anything about. You know, sometimes I get these texts on my phone, and I'm probably going to stop those things. Because I get those texts and it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do about it? You know, I don't have a cape. In some tights, I can't fly out and help someone who's fallen down a mine shaft. I can't do those things. So, again, focus in on those things you can do. You know, I was just speaking to a gentleman. Gentleman called me up, and he's someone who gets my emails, gets my training and so forth. And he called me up because he wanted to start doing some business with me. And he wanted to start doing business at the $25 level, which is fine. It's a great place to start. And his frustration, though, was he didn't have $25. So can you imagine how little his circle of influence is that he doesn't have $25? You know, he said that to me, and, you know, sometimes people might say it to me and I have some compassion and so forth and so on. But this guy, he said it and he started laughing. And it just hit me the wrong way. I just said, you know, what are you laughing about? You know, I said, how old are you? And he told me he was 60 years old. And I said, man, you have spent 60 years on this planet, and now when something comes along that could make a difference for you to help you move forward, you don't have $25 for it? Let me tell you something. You need to be doing something. You know, it's not a laughing matter to me. I look at this not only as a business, but also a mission to help people who are willing to work for it to succeed. So, man, it's not a laughing matter at all if you don't have $25 to put together, because your circle of influence, what you can do is so small. Well, I got some good news for you. If you go to BlessedBrother.com and you start getting a hold of some of the training that I have there, and you start plugging in with some of the things that I'm doing, guess what happens? You have the ability to actually enlarge your circle of influence. You know, you may see a school that needs to be built in Africa, and you say, well, that's in my circle of concern. I care about those folks in Africa who want to build a school, but there's nothing I can do about it. Guess what? If you start learning the things that we talk about and increasing your influence, you can get to the point where maybe you could build a school in Africa. Maybe you could be a world changer in those types of ways. You know, it's not just about getting the money for you. And I hope you understand that. I hope that's your heart. I think I attract people to me who have that same heart. But it's about having those choices and being able to use those choices to influence others and have a positive impact on this world. So if you're like me and you feel you resonate with that message, go to blessedbrother.com, plug in. I got more stuff coming for you, but I really want you to let this sink in. Spend your time focusing on the stuff that's in your circle of influence, and then as you do that, as you're more effective doing that, your circle of influence will expand, and before you know it, you're able to do stuff and impact lives in a positive way, in ways that you may not have ever imagined before. That's all I have for you today. Have an awesome day. Be blessed. I'll talk to you soon.